Subscribe to the fl0m Clips and Highlights channel. Thank you. All right. So, holy shit. Rain signs for 100 Thieves. Nade Shots American Org are set to re-enter Counter-Strike according to Dust 2. For those of you that don't know, I'm just hoping if this is true, they actually end up playing because holy shit. If you guys do not know your 100 Thieves lore, man, they basically had like multiple rosters and basically just didn't play and then got free stickers. Like just to... Anyway, I originally wasn't going to react to this because Overdrive is kind of 50-50 and usually just says random shit that's at the top of Reddit. But now it seems like it got confirmed by some other stuff on HLTV. So now I actually think it's happening, which is crazy. And at the start of this co-stream today, which is what we're doing this reaction in the middle of, somebody asked me not only where's Rain going, but somebody asked me if PR were to get bought out, where would he go? And I was like speculating Navi or like somebody with actual budget that could move him off of GamerLegion to make it worth their while. And boy, was I wrong, because GamerLegion's selling the whole core. They're selling the goddamn core. Okay, so for those of you that don't understand, not only is this a really strong core of players with obviously Oakland MVP Rez, my goat. PR is absolutely fucking young, crack, jack, owning. And Towson is, I'm not going to overhype him too much, but he's really good though. Like he's solid as fuck. So they need Opper. Rain is basically going to be confirmed as the IGL for this roster. And they, like with signing these players, right? Like signing these players, they're looking for an Opper, and this would confirm that Rain's going to IGL. But the important thing, guys, for those of you that don't understand how this works, that means 100 Thieves will now be here. Wait, no, sorry, wait, I'm not on VRS. Here. They are buying in. How does that work for them? I wonder, what's the timeline? Let me check. So they're signing with them. I mean, they're just giving the history. I'm just seeing if there's any information in here. I can't imagine this is before the major. I think this has to be, you said it has to be because of 2 changes. Yeah, I don't know the VRS implications necessarily, like the rules. I'm not going to lie, but I feel like that'd just be weird in general. So, but for those of you that don't know, VRS is tied to the core players. It's not tied to organizations. And the reason you do that is because if an org dumps a bunch of players and then they pick up a bunch of like, people that suck, basically, you're just in a situation where you just gave the VRS to players that didn't earn it. And then they basically, it's just not good. They've tried that before where orgs essentially own the roster spot, and it usually goes horribly wrong. So, but also, though, it's important to note that basically 100 Thieves will now own a top 20 team. Actually higher, right? Because after this PGL event concludes, they'll be closer to top 10, right? Because they're in semis, I believe. So if they're in semis, they're basically almost bought into top 10 with buying this core. And then this will be Rain's IGLing project, first IGLing project. What's really important, they are not getting Ash. There's no, at least what we've seen so far, if this is actually happening, the coach is so important here. Hopefully whoever's running 100 Thieves and making this decision, I give them credit. On paper, this move actually seems like a really strong way to come in. Like a really strong way to come in. This seems really good. However, if you don't give Rain a good coach that can build up with him, it will be bad. They need somebody like, and the fact that GamerLegion has Ash and will probably retain him because they just re-signed him for 5 years. Yeah, that's my biggest worry. People don't understand, Rain can be a great leader. He could be a great strat caller, a strat like designer, but if he doesn't know how to like get everybody on the same page and do it the first time, and if he doesn't have somebody with him to help him do that and learn the ropes, it's going to be incredibly tough for him. It doesn't, like, you need somebody there that can basically help fill in the gaps for all the stuff that you've never done before, because this is new for Rain. Rain has been in the server before. He's called strats. He's called a mid-round. He's done everything that, like, on the surface you think an IGL does. Outside of the server, though, even if he knows what Kerrigan has done, and even if he knows, like, what different coaches have done in the past, he hasn't done it. So he needs a strong coach. Like, I would actually say the coach for this roster, with how strong this rifle core will be, is more important than who they get as an opper. At least to start. The coach matters more right now to help Rain get implemented as an IGL than the opper does. I don't even know who they get. They're not getting Ash. I mean, I feel like if it was Ash, he'd be leaked in this too. Is Barry a free agent right now? He's Nine's coach right now? Okay, yeah, I don't know who's available. Mither? The Zipnix name drop would be decent. Zipnix is still assistant coach on Mouse, right? No, Malik is 3D Max. I don't know who's available, the coach that actually has, like, maybe they can convince Swanee to come back. I doubt it, but maybe. Maybe this is something that would interest him. That's who I would go after personally. I'd be knocking on his door. Malik is not with 3D Max. He's not? Okay. Point being, I don't know who they're going to get. That's going to matter a lot, though. It's going to matter a lot. And despite somebody rage baiting, like, the proof of this is basically when you've seen, like, Ash, and also the biggest example in general is Saw. And not just the past. Literally, Hunter's first time IGLing, Saw coming in there made G2 look like a brand new fucking team. G2 lost Monacy and Nico and won an event before Falcons. Like, I'm not saying G2's the best team in the world, but also it showed how much having a coach coming in and working with a new IGL with with Hunter, that team was shockingly good for where they were at. Why would they not have grabbed GamerLegion's coach too, though? I'm going to be honest with you, dude. If I'm GamerLegion, he's my most valuable asset. Ash has built up different players and teams, and GamerLegion has basically sold these players and teams to keep that roster afloat. He is their most valuable asset. And same, and I think you could see this when you look at Saw with Heroic. Heroic looks much worse off now that they've lost Saw. It's interesting. All right, I think we'll wrap it up there. I think coach matters. I think coach is most important to help Rain basically get comfortable IGLing. And then obviously operas matter too. It's just, if you want the Rain project to be successful, and if you're 100 Thieves, I imagine that's what you really want. You want 100 Thieves basically establishing themselves in the top 10 and holding with that core. And if Rain comes in and is like not comfortable and not able to get situated in that role, it's going to feel really unstable. It's going to feel really unstable in my opinion. So that's got to be the first order of business. I think swapping in and out operas is much easier.